We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
We'll pledge to your flag. I don't have a flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
and justice for all. That gets better every time we do it. Can I get a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Joe, would you like to talk about the finances?
Yes, currently our fund balance sits at 20 million and 3 million in Putnam, 5 million in Westchester, and 12 million of FAD funds. Of that amount, we have 10 million invested still in treasuries and 5.5 million invested now in bank CDs as those treasury yields come down. Year to date, our expenditures have been $521,154. Our income earned for that same period is $161,020. Current contract balances of open jobs right now, we have 1.1 million of signed contract balances due on projects that are currently being worked on. We do have an invoice going out today to Westchester County for the O&M for 2019 reimbursements to Westchester. We did send out all the checks to the Westchester municipalities, so they have gotten those and cashed those, and now we will invoice Westchester County, who will reimburse the corporation for those payments that we made. That amounted to $85,000. Any questions, or everyone okay with the?
I'll just make a quick comment about that. Joanne, you should be getting a voucher for me later today.
Yes, I saw your email. Okay,
right,
so you do require that voucher then?
Right. And I have a blank voucher. I'll scan it in and email it to you. And just, because the county has people working from home and sometimes in the office, it will take a week or two longer to actually get the check cut once we get it over to finance, which hopefully should be pretty soon.
Okay. I should be scanning all the information.
Okay. That's great. We'll be in touch on it.
One quick question. Joanne, what's the rate, the interest rate we're earning on the investments?
Well, we still have investments around 2% that we bought last year. They're coming due gradually. We have some due June, August, and I think October that were around 2%. But at the last meeting, as I noted, well, 1-year Treasury was paying 0.1%. So that's why we're going to CDs, but the CDs are not better. They're around 0.6 or 7% for 1 year. So we're not going to, going forward, we're not going to get the rates we were getting. However, with that being said, we're using our funds now that we're actively moving towards finishing up these FAD projects, or starting and finishing FAD projects. So we will be utilizing the funds. It was great we had, the use of the higher rates back when the money first came in from DEP. I think we did well with that. Year to date, we have $161,000 worth of income already. So we did well, rather than having the funds just sit in a bank account somewhere.
Can I make a comment?
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a comment?
Before you do, if I could ask everybody just to mute unless you're going to be speaking, because we're getting some feedback on this, and let's see if we can clear it up.
What's happening is the voice is coming out of the speakers on their PC.
All right,
Four,
apparently we
five.
lost one.
Have basically a ladder effect on this, Ed, and Joanne's done a great job.
Okay, I just got myself out of the meeting. So I don't know if I missed anything.
All right, let's move on. We can get this wrapped up. Joe, you want to talk about the audit and tax return?
So last executive committee meeting, we did, are we getting feedback? I'm hearing feedback on my end.
I'm hearing
Yeah,
feedback.
yes,
Yes.
there's feedback.
Yep.
Triple voice.
Okay. The executive committee did accept the audit last meeting, and now we just would like to ask the board today to accept it as well, so that we could go ahead and file the tax returns, which are due on Friday. So that's all been completed and reviewed, and again, the executive committee just is presenting it to the board right now for acceptance.
So moved.
Have a
Thank you.
second? Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay. You want to talk a little bit, Joe, about the list of reporting and filing due dates?
Sure, sure. We still have a few things, a couple of, items due on conflict of interest forms, and a couple of, we have 2 member trainings that I have to follow up on, but all in all, we're doing much better than we have in the past with getting all these forms done and complete. May 15th is coming up Friday. We do need the financial disclosures for any of you that have not completed your financial disclosure. And most of you do it anyway, being you're the supervisors, and you have to do it for your towns if you're in Putnam County. But if you're in Westchester County, I think it also applies, well, it definitely also applies because you're part of East of Hudson, who is our major offices in Putnam County. So it all has to be done, even we as employees do it. And again, I just want to remind you, that's May 15th. I'm not able to track it. The way I find out who's done it or has not done it is by getting in touch with Jan Miller over in Putnam County. And she's been very good about working with me to help me, get all those final ones in as they get to the May 15th deadline. So we're in good shape. We're in good shape.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're proposing an amendment to the bylaws. George, could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. The bylaws currently do not allow for video conferencing like we're doing now. Of course, we're doing it now under the executive order from the governor and a similar ruling from the authority's budget office. But in case we want to continue after the coronavirus crisis is over, we need to amend the bylaws. And so simply what I proposed is say, and this is the executive committee recommended to the board, is that we allow video conferencing according to the provisions of the Open Meetings Law. I have to say that that's a difficult process. The Open Meetings Law requires that you have public access at every location of a video conference. Sorry for the feedback, but I think it's useful to have this provision in there so that after the virus is over, if that happens, we can continue with some of these meetings if we want to by video conference. It's a simple amendment. Sorry?
I thought this was a not-for-profit corporation setup, so the open meeting law doesn't apply.
We provided in our bylaws that the Open Meetings Law does apply, and we agreed to follow the Open Meetings Law. And that's also a requirement of the funding agreement. So you're
Okay.
obligated.
Can I make a motion to adopt this amendment to the bylaws?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, Kevin, we're on to you.
Right, so I'm not sure, okay, I'm not muted. So O&M update, everybody should be starting to get out there and starting to work on the project. We've already seen some work come in from the town of Pauling, which is great. So seeing spring weather and getting out there, but we expect everybody to continue pushing that forward. It's not something that's been done in previous years. So we want to see those bills and the documents all coming in. We try to remind you on an annual basis. And I think staff will send out a letter to everybody that'll be directed to your MS4 coordinator, your town highway supervisor, and each individual supervisor within the town to make sure that everyone is aware that these things should be coming into the corporation as soon as possible. Moving on to the project update and program update, we are currently sitting at about 566 kilograms reduced total. We did see a slowdown, unfortunately, in some of the design responses because of the virus. We've been on top of the design engineers to push everything forward, and I still anticipate to have a good deal of projects going to construction summer, early fall. We will see, in short notice, done in Mount Go at Leonard Park and an installation at the Metro North train stations in the village of Katona and town of North Salem. Now, some of the other Metro North stations, which we're doing switch base and insert projects at, we need to push that forward. Unfortunately, as you all can imagine, it's been a little bit tougher to get a hold of Metro North, given the state of things. But hopefully, as things begin to open up, we'll be able to get a clearer line of communication with them. Let's say we're still on target overall with our projects. We are still on target to exceed our reduction goal of the 920 kilograms over the 10-year course of the program. So at this point, we'll start refining even more to make sure that we either hit the 920 directly on the head, or we get a better understanding of what the state and the DEC will want us to accomplish should any conversation come up to exceed that 920 kilograms. But we are on target and anticipate to have a busy late summer, fall for sure. Rich, you're still on mute.
So I just want to let everybody know that I've had a conversation with New York State DEC. The program is going, and I'll update everybody more at the coalition.
Rich,
Yes.
Screen keeps on going yellow, but he's not on mute. Peter, please.
What am I doing wrong?
You're not mute,
Need to
Peter.
mute.
You're taking it back up.
I'm not sure what was just said. That was a very interesting dialogue back and forth.
Unfortunately, the sound is not working well. It's like triple, I'm hearing triple.
There's still people that are not muted.
Linda, you can mute everybody, I believe, because you're controlling the meeting.
I think we're in good shape now, right?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we're down to Watershed Planner.
Yep. And so the corporation went to advertisement to fill the Watershed Planner position starting at the end of 2019. We got a very good response. A lot of candidates that came back to us, which we're pretty excited about. That advertisement ran until I think it was the end of March or possibly April. But we had a group of 8 candidates that we're interested in, narrowed it down to 5, which we'll send on to executive committee to comment and consideration. The big question that I think with this position we need to consider is the direction of the corporation moving forward, which it sounds as though Supervisor Williams will be able to enlighten us a little bit more on the conversation he had from the state. I think the response from the state and from all the individual municipalities as to how you would all like to shape the corporation moving forward really should be the driving force in how we shape this position, because we can have them serve anything to assisting me or directly running phosphorus reduction project or assisting in MS4 compliance, however we can do it. We got a good shape of a good group of candidates that I think we can move forward with. So we're excited about that. Anticipation and what we'll need from the board is a decision that the executive committee and staff would be able to hire somebody between this meeting and our next meeting, which will happen in August, on an interim basis to bring them in, have them work for months, and in August to hire them on a permanent basis based on their performance. So I'm not quite sure, but I think George, maybe you can answer this. Do we need a motion from the board to agree to that we can hire someone on an interim basis?
Right. The board has the authority to hire. So the full board has to make a decision on whether to hire this person. But it can do that. I believe it could delegate that to the executive committee to make the final decision, given what you just outlined.
Okay.
How does everybody feel the executive committee?
I'm okay with delegating.
Anyone else?
I'm okay with it.
Okay with it, but I'm on the committee, so.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to authorize or empower the executive committee to hire the planner position
On an interim basis?
on an interim basis.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Now
Aye.
that you're all muted. Any opposition? Motion carries. Does any member have any other business they wish to bring up?
I just have a question on the office staff. Is there anything that we need for PPE type stuff or anything you need, we put it.
Warren, I appreciate your thinking of that. Right now, we have been stopping into the office one at a time. We've never been here, it's only one of us at a time. So we've been disinfecting and cleaning ourselves, but we will look into, as things open up more and we are coming in together, what we might do. And we'll let you and run it by the executive committee if there's something that might help us. I appreciate that thought.
Let us know what you need.
Okay.
Anyone else? Entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting and remind everybody we'll be reconvening as the East of Hudson Coalition.
So move. To adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, see you all in a few.
Thanks
Do
all.
we
Thank you.
sign in on it?
Bye.
Linda, is this a different Zoom call now?
It is a different call. Joanne Daly sent out the link to the meeting.
Okay, I'll try and find it.
Okay.